どうしようもないってくらい体に力がみなぎってる感じ？なあ、早くやらせろよ。
In the Street Fighter series, most of the character roster has been fated against disrupted tragedies in their lives. When Chun-Li's father died, Guile's best friend and mentor disappeared by the Shadow Loop. What makes the characters special is how they rise from those tragedies and find ways to better themselves and others. But not all characters are created equal. Some choose another way of dealing with their inner emotions. Who are we to blame anyone who takes a different approach? In today's episode, we're going to talk about one of the most tragic stories in the Street Fighter universe, the tragedy of Juri Han. Welcome to the Street Fighterverse. This story emerges from the Udon comics, Super Street Fighter Volume 1, New Generation, in the bonus stage section titled, Who is Juri? We can start in the early years of Juri Han's younger years, as a student of Taekwondo in Korea. Her trainer calls her name Juri as she is being trained. He exclaims, "Your posture is improper," as her challenger proceeds to attack Juri Han in a sweeping leg motion, leaving her defeated on the floor. In the beginnings, we can see that Juri was having trouble with her training. Even worse, her parents looked to be very formal and strict with her child. While on the floor, Juri Han's mother calls her out on her training, and I quote, "Your training is very expensive, daughter. Why should we spend so much money on Taekwondo if you're not able to show us improvement? Is this how you thank us?" Juri Han proceeds to ask for forgiveness, but her apologies mean nothing to her mother. As she states, "Apologies only mean something if you intend to change." How tragic is knowing that your mother batters you psychologically. Her father did not pay attention to her training as well. During her training, he was mostly talking on his cell phone. His wife exclaims, "Stop talking on the phone, will you? Did you even see the match?" And he states, "I don't have time for this, Anae. Do what you think is right." The irresponsibility of her parents makes you understand and appreciate Juri Han's development during the years. As they're talking at the family table, Juri's father speaks and says, "This Shadow Loop case will require me to fly overseas. I leave tomorrow morning quite early, so I expect you both to be ready at 5 a.m. sharp. We'll go to the airport together." Juri Han, not understanding, asks, what's a Shadow Loop?" A great starter in this series, as we can see the first time Juri Han has heard of what later her enemies would be. Her mother says, "It's not important, Juri. Just do as your father says." Juri's father states, and I quote, "It's okay, dear. I'll explain a bit. The Shadow Loop is a crime organization, Juri. They have many agents all over the world. I'm one of the prosecutors who are gathering evidence with the help of Interpol, so we can put these criminals in jail for a long time." Juri replies, "It sounds dangerous," in which her father replies, "It may be, but it's important, and it's also my duty." In that same way, it is your duty to train hard and not embarrass your family. Do you understand? Her replying, "Yes, Aboji," which in Korean is more like father, in a more respectful way. So for use when introducing them or addressing them to be polite, or when talking about them to others. Not knowing much about this situation, Juri understands that her father's line of work is a very dangerous one. As the meal ends, he tells Juri, "You are my daughter, and I expect great things from you." Juri Han's parents create this pressure on Juri to exceed and be the best at everything, especially in her martial arts. Most parents might seem to see this as a tough love, but in my opinion, that's just an excuse for weak parenting. Clearly, her parents pressure her to an extent where love is not the main focus in their household, which is another insight of her further development as a human being. It's early in the morning, and traffic to the airport seems to be slow, based on the mounts of snow falling down the sky. Out of nowhere, an explosion occurred in front of their car, their vehicle suddenly being shot by a group of mercenaries. As Juri's father exclaims, "Keep your head down." She has been shot in the head and left there as her parents were taken away, never to be seen again. 1 hour into her transition, she was in critical condition. There were 2 dead and 1 missing. Loss of blood, all horrific news reports about the incident. Juri Han was taken into emergency surgery immediately. They work relentlessly to operate her as fast as possible. As for 1 week on her recovery, she was stable. During this incident, she lost her left eye. They begin the funeral preparations for her mother, and the government would not negotiate with the Shadowloo terrorists. In her first week, the list of tragedies just keeps getting bigger and bigger. All of this happening at her 15 years of age. After 1 month of recovery, she gained insight and was addressed with some psychological concerns. As her father's ransom was not paid, they decided to kill her father on camera. This traumatic chain of events led her to take a nihilist approach on her own life. 5 months into her change, we can see Juri without 1 eye, hungry to learn her craft. She states to her trainer, "Shut up, you old fool. No excuses, no whining. You will serve me as you served my parents. You will show me everything you know about Taekwondo fighting forms. We will train night and day, non-stop until I am satisfied that my body is a weapon of death." Old Juri Han is no more. We are seeing the rise in evilness in her being. She is out for vengeance and destruction. Later in her life, she manages to unite with SIN, the Shadowloo Intimidation Network, the weapons division of the criminal organization of the Shadowloo. During Street Fighter IV, the leader and CEO of SIN was Seth, who was likely also constructed as an SIN weapons project. Many people believed at first that SIN was really the remains of a fallen Shadowloo, and not just a division. They developed a weapon called the Feng Shui engine, which was planted in Juri's eye socket. This gives Juri her ultimate abilities and power. Juri, being asked by Seth, "How do you feel?" She replies, "Oh, it's incredible. It feels like my body is coursing with limitless power. So, let me loose. Let's get one with this." Her tragedy gave her the roots to be evil. While other people overcome these adversities in other ways, she overcomes hers with pure destruction. How do you guys feel about Juri's tragedy? Does it compensate for her being a villain? Let us know with a comment down below and share your point of view. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This was your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the center stage.